If you were looking for God, what would you expect to find? What would you expect to see? Because that was the issue a couple thousand years ago. People were expecting the Messiah. They were expecting God. And they had a set of expectations that they thought for sure would define God when he came. So, for example, they were looking for rich. I mean, he's God. Like, he's got to be rich. If the Messiah comes, if the Savior of the world comes, he's got to be rich. Number two, they were looking for powerful. I mean, he was going to be the king, the emperor. He's God after all, and he's going to restore the nation of Israel. That's what he's going to do, right? They were also looking for luxurious. I mean, if he's king and if he's God, if he's the Messiah, he's going to live in palaces because that's what kings do. They were also probably expecting elusive. Like, I don't really do public. I'm not really a person of the people because I'm God and all that. And then they were looking for transcendent, mystical, kind of aloof, transcendent. And you know what they got? It was so surprising. They were looking for powerful, but they actually got a servant, someone who gave his life for others and served. They were looking for luxurious, but they got humility. They got a manger. They got a trough. They got a stall. Like, seriously? Savior of the world born here? They were looking for exclusive, but they got inclusive. This is a Savior for the world, for everybody. And they were looking for transcendent, and they got that, but they also got immanent. They got a God who was with us. You know, Luke chapter 2, verse 12 says it so powerfully, because I think if we were there that day, if you and I were there that day, we might have missed God. But in Luke 2, it says, "And you will recognize him, the Messiah, by this sign. You will find a baby wrapped snugly in strips of cloth, lying in a manger." So you know what you can expect this Christmas? You can expect to see God, just not the God you expected. And I don't know what your expectations are of God, but you will find him in the everyday fabric of life. Maybe you don't expect to see him in your sorrow. You'll see him. Maybe you don't expect to see him in your disappointment. You'll see him. Maybe you don't expect to see him in your pain. You'll see him. Maybe you don't think you rank. Maybe you don't think you're important enough. Maybe you don't think you're powerful enough. Maybe you don't think you're rich enough. Maybe you think you're not good enough. You'll see him. You can expect to see God. But what's so powerful about the original Christmas, if you can see it for what it actually is that you will expect to see God. You just won't see the God you expected. And maybe that's the best news of all.